Today you're going to learn how to enlarge a photo using a grid. So here's the photo we want to enlarge. You can see we've already got a grid on it. We'll say it's 1 inch by 1 inch. On this side, we're going to double the size. We'll say this one is 2 inches by 2 inches. In reality it isn't, but I just want you to get a general idea of what we're doing, or what we will be doing for rodeo art. So you're going to do this by looking at your grid and finding the X and Y axis, just like you did when you plotted points in math class. If you haven't done that yet, then you're a little bit ahead of everybody else. So this one was the x-axis, this is the y-axis along this side, and you're just going to figure out where things fall on which line and plot those points on the corresponding line on the other side. Okay? So to get started, I'm going to go to box A1 because I see things here to draw. And I'm going to plot my points. So I'm going to start out just by figuring out where things cross on the lines, making little dashes or little dots at them, and come over here and do the same thing. So this is about 1/4 of the way down, so I'll make a mark about 1/4 of the way down. This is a teeny bit up, so I'll make a mark a teeny bit up, and then draw the shape. It looks like it comes out about that much, so I'm going to do that. And I'm going to draw light until I'm sure it's correct. Okay, now I'm going to do the rest of that section. So I've got something that crosses right here, and it looks like it's going to be about right there, so about right here. And then if I look, I draw a little line down towards the grid, I can see that's not quite halfway, so it's going to be about right there. That's where it's going to stop. Okay, so now I can draw my shape now that I have it planned out. Oops, I forgot to do this side. So it looks like it hits about right here. Okay, so that's that basic shape that you have in box A1. Now I can go to the next box and do the same thing. In between lines 2 and 3, it looks like I've got a line that hits right about here. It's a little lower than the previous one because if you look closely, there's a little dip right there. So I'm going to go ahead and draw that line. And it looks like it goes about to here. And goes straight, comes down a teeny bit, and then starts to dip. And then I can go to the next box, find that point, and draw my line. And you can see it's not quite perfect right here, so I'm drawing light, and I'd be able to go back and fix this as I'm working. And as long as you're drawing lightly, you'll be able to correct it. Okay. I'm going to go to box 3 and 4 now. So here's box 3 and 4. I can see the other tip of the N is here. And I like to start out by getting all the easier shapes down first. So like the straight lines, any of this kind of stuff, that's pretty easy to find, so I'm probably going to do all of those first before I start doing the eagle, which is going to be a little bit more difficult. So I'm going to go to box 3 and 4. This is about 1/3 of the way down or 1/4 of the way down. It lines up with this line, so that's something to notice. Make sure they actually line up. And it's going to line up over here as well. Then this line is actually in line. This line right here is in line with this one, so I'm going to find that spot, mark it out. Same thing on this side. Okay, it looks like this comes down to like right about here, it's barely in, and this side goes about 1/4 of the way in. It comes out about that much. And you kind of have to look at the proportion in the box too. You can't just say, oh well, it comes out and then draw it you know, taking up the whole space. You actually have to check the proportion of the box and make sure it's accurate to what you see. Right, now I can do this other half. It looks like it's going to be lined up and done the same way, so I'm going to go ahead and just do what I see. Okay, so I've got that part pretty well blocked out. I'm going to move down to the other end down here, because when you're doing gridding, you can skip around as long as you maintain accuracy within your grid. As long as you're accurate within your drawing, it doesn't matter where you're working. You can skip around all you want. So I'm going to do all the basic lines first, get those blocked out before I do the eagle. So D1, 2, and 3 looks like it's going to be about almost halfway up. And then it's going to go all the way to the top of this line. This is about 1/4 of the way in right here. And it goes all the way up to right here between C and B in box 2. That looks like it's going to be about right here. And notice I stopped. I didn't just draw this curved piece in. I'm going to find that in a second, but first I need to find where it crosses the grid. So to figure out where this edge crosses the grid, I can see it's actually right here, just below that little, that little intersection. And I think it's going to be a similar shape to that. And it looks like it's going to meet all the way back right about here. And then come back in. Now I'm going to get this little piece right here. This looks like it goes at an angle like this. And it's in this box right here. Okay, good. Now I'm going to get this piece right here, the flat piece of that end. So this is in box 4D. Zoom out a little so you can actually see what I'm doing. Box 4D. So 4D right here, and it's going to be a little tougher because it's actually kind of in the center of the box and really not only a tiny little bit crossing that grid line right here. So I'm going to look around here, make sure I line them up because they are actually in a straight line. So it's going to be around that area. Looks like it starts about right here and it's a straight line. And notice it also lines up with that line that's up here. So if these lines don't line up, you're doing it wrong. And then this point right here hits about 1/4 of the way down, so about right there. And then I'm going to draw the angle that I see. So that was kind of a trickier one. To get this piece in, I'm going to figure out where this point is first. Okay? To find that point, I'm going to draw lines on this side, connecting it out to the edge of the grid so I can see where it is. So it looks like this is about 3/4 of the way over on this line. So this is about 3/4. I'm very lightly drawing a straight line down. And this one looks like it's about 1/3 of the way over. So 1/3, draw a straight line very lightly across. And then I found the point. So I can draw my dot. I'm going to erase all this so I can actually see what I'm doing. I'm supposed to be doing right there. And now I can draw that shape I see. So I see this curved shape. So there you go. Alright, I'm going to get this letter C on now. So straight line goes from here to here. Straight line. Looks like it's going to go about down to about here. The bottom of the C starts here, continues over here. Push this out a little bit because it looks like it goes about 1/3 of the way into the picture, or 1/4 of the way. And then I can connect that line together to get that angle. Okay. To find this angle right here, I'm actually going to find where this is first. So this is going to be in between D and E in box 7. Looks like it's about 1/4 of the way over. And it's going to go about 1/4 of the way down into this box and a little bit up into the next box. And then I can connect my line. And you can see how accurate it is. And it does make it a little bit easier as long as you're plotting points and figuring out where things go on the grid. And this one's going to stop about halfway up, so it's going to stop about there. Okay, this corner of this C right here is going to be in between box 6 and 7. So it looks like it's in C, in between 6 and 7. So it looks to me like it's going to be about right there. This one looks like it's going to be in line with this and touch that. It's also going to come about 1/3 of the way up into this line. So this looks like about 1/3 of the way right here. And it's going to angle to that point right here. See that point right here? It's going to angle towards that. This comes into this box a little bit, and then it's going to angle across to about here. This one comes to, looks like it goes about right there and comes over to about right here. And you can see I'm just filling it in. Following the grid, filling it in. Now I think I'm going to work on trying to get this eagle head in here. So I would start with the simple lines first. I would go back to B1 and find this line right here, and I'd plot those points. So it's going to be about right here to right here. Looks like it's going to cross right about here. There, and I'm drawing this line right here. Okay, that one. So it looks like that line's going to stop in box B4. So here's B4 and about halfway, so about right there. So I'm going to connect those lines very lightly. And I'm working on this line right here, so I'm not even worried about that little bump yet. Okay, now I'm going to go back to box B4, and I think I'm going to actually put that little bump in. Looks like it's going to be about right here in between the two. And it's going to go to